Hello guys, today I'll be analyzing patch 11.5 nodes and be giving you guys a quick rundown of all the changes. It's kind of a small patch, there's not too many important changes, not that much anyways. The biggest things would have to be item changes that mostly aren't on mid lane champions, but some of them are, so I'll go over it. There are some mid lane nerfs and buffs as well, and a lot of nerfs and buffs for other champions, but you know, I don't think this patch is too big, but like basically every role is affected. Not that much though, but we'll get right through it. So I'm gonna go to the items first because that's the most important thing. So I just want to summarize for you guys because I know a lot of you guys don't really want to like get too deep into the math. So I'll basically summarize what all this does and what it all means. So let's start with probably the most important one for mid lane would probably be, I guess, Muramana, some 80 mids. Basically, the damage on it is increased on ability procs, right? So like Jace QE, anything that's like just an ability like AZIR Q, I guess. Whereas it does less damage on basic attacks. So that's basically the shift in power for Muramana. So it's a lot stronger on casters now. Like, I don't know, maybe Varus can take Muramana and it does a good amount of damage. But basic attack procs, less damage now. And then Stride Breaker for mostly champions like, I don't know, Set, Aatrox. Basically, Jay shifted this from being like damage and slow to a bit more utility. It gives you more range, you can dash further, and you can dash quicker. So that's what the change is. Rage Blade, this basically only affects Senna. Senna doesn't like... So before she could get more than like 200 damage, because that's usually what the max is when you get crit rate from Rage Blade, but now she can't, so Senna doesn't abuse this item as much anymore, so that's basically the change. Serpent's Fang, very important actually. This item, so they changed it to where you basically apply grievous wounds, kind of, but on shields. That's basically the summary of what this is. So if you hit someone with, or I guess if you deal any sort of damage to the enemies, the next shield on them will be reduced by half, basically. So it's basically grievous wounds, but for shield. So really strong against champions like Lulu, Karma, Seraphine, you know, all those shield abusers. Maybe even Set. I guess Set doesn't matter too much, but you know, it's still going to apply to Set. And then Maul of Malmortius. They buffed this item. They just made it 300 gold cheaper, so I guess a lot of assassins and bruisers can build this and afford it a lot easier. Because like 300 gold, that's one kill, man. It's pretty big. And then Black Cleaver, they added 100 health to it, very big, and they also decreased the health, or the gold cost actually, by 200. So I mean that's a double win-win for Black Cleaver. So you might see more Black Cleaver on champions like Irelia, you know, maybe some Set. Basically a bunch of bruisers will be able to build it. Maybe Aatrox, who knows. And then instead of dealing bonus physical damage, it gives you move speed per stack. And just to remind you guys, every attack you do on an enemy champion, when you have the item Black Cleaver, it will reduce their armor by 4%, stacking up to 6 times. So you can get 30 move speed every time you attack them now. So that's pretty big for the kit. Bunch of Viego Bug Fixes. Let's go over to really important champion changes first. AZIR, 10 damage nerf, all levels. So his laning's a lot weaker. I don't think this will keep him out of pro play though. 10 damage, that's like 30 damage per trade, which is kind of big, but it's not super huge. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like in solo queue, AZIR is gonna be much worse, definitely. But for pro play, probably not. Karma buff, so they decreased the Q cooldown by 1 second flat. That means her wave clear is gonna be quicker, her trades are gonna be stronger, and you'll see a lot more Karma, especially in like support mid and top probably. Kiana, huge mid lane change for Kiana. They actually buffed the hell out of this actually. So before you get 8 damage per skill level, now you get 14. That's 6 per level, man. Like 6 extra per level. That's actually crazy. So we might see Kiana come back into meta. Maybe people will play her more. And then also her ulti does 30 more base damage per level. So I mean it adds up eventually. Pretty big, I think. It's not very small, but I think we might start seeing a little bit more Kiana now. I'd definitely be somewhat interested in playing Kiana now. And then Seraphine, what they did is basically they nerfed her damage. Her notes, like it's her passive where it gives you attack range and on-hit damage for one basic empowered attack. So they nerfed the damage on that, so that's pretty big. And then they also increased the R cooldown by a fair amount. Like it's a 3-second base cooldown now, like at level 6. So this is definitely gonna nerf her early game a lot. But you also have to keep in mind the item I was talking about earlier, Serpent's Fang, is also going to be impacting Seraphine's shields as well. So maybe she becomes weak and like drops out of meta, but I don't think that'll happen. I still think Seraphine for pro play is busted as hell. Like you don't play her for her passive damage. Her shields are really OP, but I'm not too sure how many champions can actually build Serpent's Fang and get away with it. So we'll have to see. Viego Bug Fixes, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already. It doesn't really matter too much, it's just bug fixes. So they nerfed Udyr's clearing and gonna take a little bit of health away from him. It doesn't matter that much. I guess he loses 70 health at level 10, but yeah. So they're making it so he clears a little bit less quicker, but overall I think Udyr is still gonna be really, really strong. They're nerfing AP Twitch a little bit. Yeah, just the passive AP ratio was nerfed. It doesn't do too much, but I mean it's somewhat like impactful, but AP Twitch is still alive and running. Buff Trundle for some reason. It's not too big a buff. It's just kind of nice, I guess, in dueling. Really nice in dueling, actually. They're nerfing AP Support Shaco and buffing Jungle Shaco, because now his W, his Jack in the Box, deals extra damage to monsters, so better jungle clear for Shaco now. Sejuani, a little bit of a damage buff. I don't think it does too much, but I guess it's kind of nice. Quality of life, I guess. I don't think this will shove her into meta, though. Samir buff, a little bit of AD growth and damage. I mean, I don't think it's much impactful. Like, after the last change they did to Samira, where they just nerfed her kit so hard, I don't think she'll be coming back. Like, this buff, I don't think will be too impactful. It's nice damage, but I don't think Samira is OP anymore after they nerfed her twice. Royal armor buffs, or nerf actually. She nerfed by 3, and then her kit, where she mounts and dismounts, increased cooldown by 2. Overall, she's still the same champion, just weaker laning, essentially, is what the change is. Holy crap, they really nerfed Rammus here. She loses 15 health per level now. That's actually really, really big. So, I don't know why, but they nerfed Rammus. Interesting. And this, not sure if I went over this, but this is a nerf to mid lane Pyke. Hard nerf to mid lane Pyke, because if there are not 2 enemy champions nearby, the healing you get from your gray health is decreased by a lot. So it's much easier to punish mid lane Pyke now. I actually like this change, because I not like playing versus Pyke, and chances are you guys don't either, so God bless. Wuju style, they buffed Yi's true damage. Not sure why. It's not going to make him be meta or anything, but I guess it's nice for the Yi mains out there. Kog'maw buff, his W does extra damage per point of level you put into it. Don't think it's that impactful, but actually 1% of target's max health at the 5th point. That's actually pretty impactful, but he's gonna need a lot to like actually be able to, you know, abuse the enemies. You know, like Kog'maw needs a good peeler and support to help him actually be of impact in the game. And let's see, Jax, they buffed Jax a little, 0.7 AD per level, pretty nice. And then they nerfed Gragas, all around jungle top support, mostly top lane. It's mostly targeted at top lane, basically. His Q costs a lot more mana, and he's been pretty strong in pro play, so that's why they did it. Overall, just biggest things to watch out for is like Seraphine nerf, Kiana buff, Karma buff, AZIR nerf, and Udyr nerf, and then all these item changes. I mean, that's about it. It's kind of a small patch. They didn't do too much. Anyways, thank you guys all very much for watching, and I appreciate it. I shall see you next time.